Welcome to a relatively unknown battle fought between the Roman faction and the Pontic faction on a relatively flat plain with a few trees in the deserts or plains of Asia. It's the gateway to Asia, basically, to the Pontic towns and cities. The Roman legion was sent here. The Senate has called upon the General TakisSakkis to come here after successes throughout conquering the Hellenic nations, Greece and Sparta, and getting a lot of loot from those conquests and a lot of gold to make those senators rich and the populace of Rome very prosperous and successful. They've commissioned General TakisSakkis to go to the further east, the Pontic lands, to conquer and subjugate the Pontic faction. And across here we see the Pontic faction led by strat29, and he is defending his homeland here. They've heard about the Roman atrocity, the raping of the Hellenic people, the men and women even. Every single person basically punished and raped and have basically been robbed of all their wealth, and they do not want the same fate. And have they sent their elite Pontic swordsmen, a lot of them, to the mix, and also even the peasants of Eastern archers, a lot of them. And they've conscripted also some Scythian horsemen here, if I can find them. On the left hand side they move silently behind the trees here, hoping to catch them by surprise, and with the noble horse as well. They want to have superiority in cavalry. But TakisSakkis is quite aware of this, and he's quite a well-learned general. He knows that he's learnt about the prowess of the Eastern armies he hasn't faced them before, but he's heard about them, heard about their maneuvers and the cowardly tactics, as they like to call it. Very cowardly tactics indeed, the Romans like to say. So they bought their latest technology, the best that the Roman money can buy, the best scientists, mainly Roman technology though, the best brains of Romans, scorpions, counter these menacing horse archers, Scythian horse archers, famed for shooting on the move. They fire down onto the cavalry. The Romans charge in, fainting, stop their tracks, as the Syrian archers, conscripted from Syria, also TakisSakkis' idea to counter the maneuverability and cowardly tactics of the Pontic nation. He sends them to the left here to counter the movements. They should be able to outshoot them with the supreme accuracy, and they also have very, very great steel, the best Romans can buy. The armor there as well, to try withstand some shots. As the Pontic army's horses stand idly on their left-hand flank here, just eyeing them down, waiting for the right opportunity to strike. TakisSakkis' army, the legions, stand very strong, steadily confident in their very heavily armored shields. They don't fear too much of the peasants, Eastern archers, pounding away against their shields. No casualties as of yet. They come to move in soon and quick, so as the arrows do not pepper them away too much. They go straight into the battle, straight into the fray, as the Pontic army here. Not a retreat in fear, they retreat back in very calculated steps here, urged on by General strat29 that this is not a retreat out of fear, but a retreat out of calculation, that we will strike again at the opportune time. In the meanwhile here, the cavalry does get peppered away by the scorpions here, as one of the Scythian archers here have sustained a lot of casualties here. A nice volley there has taken a few legions from the back of their soft backward belly, not covered by their shields. As the scorpion does keeps on firing throughout the battle here, proving not to be that great. But one hit can impale one of these horsemen. as the battle rages on. The Pontic army tries to get flanks after flanks after the Syrian archers do move. He tries to get some nice shots after Legion's softer belly. And a heavier shot here, they have also have recently researched some technology which allows them to shoot particular arrows that can pierce the armor of the Roman legion. As maneuvers here, the horses of the Pontic army pretty much shooting into the Roman cavalry here without any sort of resistance at all. But they stay here patient, waiting for the order from TakisSakkis to come to charge. But they probably won't charge, as TakisSakkis knows that these Pontic or Scythian archers do shoot very well on the move. As meanwhile, the big battle here, we see the Syrian archers here, 2 of them only, engaging the mass of the peasants. But again, the Pontic army falls back. And again, the Romans are getting quite frustrated and agitated. The legions here eager for battle, sweating in their heavy armor here. It must have been a real headache for them. Going back and forwards, running away, as the lightly armored Pontic army here, able to run back and forwards without any sort of weight. Not the weight that these Romans carry, that's for sure. As the battle on the side rages on, with the flanks of the cavalry of the Pontic army still releasing volley after volley of their heavy shots into the cavalry, as the scorpion of the Roman army does a nice impel shot on a few horses there. One shot taking him out instantly. But still no movement, just waiting for the arrows to stop coming. They'll definitely run out of arrows soon, TakisSakkis thinks. But the scorpion here, brought down by cart and wagon, does have more arrows and more ammunition than the Pontic army, so it could withstand. Well, they could withstand that, as a lot of Scythian horse archers have been dispatched already, simply just from that scorpion and archers. As the horse here of the Roman legion get impatient, try to just chase them away, as the noble horse of the Scythian army, or the Pontic army in fact, are coming towards the flank here, and perhaps the first engagement of the battle, or the first major engagement of the battle, may happen amongst the trees of the plains of the eastern steppe. Very dry, no rain for months. The Romans come charging in, and the Pontic army, or the Pontic horses, do run back again, frustrating the hell out of these Roman legions. Not used to these kind of battles, used to the battles in the barbaric nations of Germania, where they encounter charge after charge of barbarian nations. But now they're encountering very crafty eastern nations, running back and then flanking them from behind there, but also getting flanked themselves by the other cavalry. But now they're pretty tied down. Both of these horse armies clashing in the first battle, or the first major battle of this engagement. And a big mess of horses here, finding it hard to tell friend from foe. Both of them just hack and slash, or pierce and thrust their spears into each other, hoping to get a kill or knock the enemy off their horses. A noble horse, though, proving to be more than capable of taking out a Roman cavalryman. They happily hack away, as meanwhile on the back peel here, the main force of the legions are struggling to engage this army here, as General strat29 at the back here is confident that this cavalry can win the engagement after the wearing down of the Roman legion by the Scythian archers. These Roman legions are frustrated, are worn down by numbers, and also in spirit. They hack away, poke away each other with the noble horse, proving to have better horses and better men, better horsemen in fact, as Romans here aren't used to fighting these kind of horses. Such superiority here, as also the crafty tactics coming out and into the fray, hitting them from the flanks, reducing the morale, making them cower. An chaotic battle indeed, which is hard to see friend from foe, and hard to watch in fact as well, as back here, the main battle here, the Pontic army now is coming for the Romans, and the Romans are running back because they know they can be outshot here, and they're wanting to go back to help their legion. As even the Roman general TakisSakkis comes into the fray and to the battle, charging in with his bodyguards. He's here for Rome, for honor, for his honor, for plunder, and for Roman prosperity. They seek to subjugate these lands, remember, and these noble horses are very noble indeed, and they're here to stop these Romans from taking their land and taking their women. But patient they are in doing so, not blind courage. Very crafty, sneaky tactics. They hit and run, and TakisSakkis has all too well seen this now, and did not expect such the case. Confident in their technology and their weaponry in Roman, what Romans can buy, the best armor that they can buy. Their noble horse though, outmatched entirely, or in fact their Roman auxiliary outmatched entirely by maneuvers and basically skill of their troops. Just could not compete with the Pontic horse on here, as the rest of the Roman army vanish amongst the trees, but appear once again to help their horse fight this battle and win. Because if they do not win this soon, the horsemen are free to move around the battle maneuver, and that will be absolutely disastrous for the Roman army trapped within their armor here. The slow movements of their legions not being able to do much. The first pilums been thrown into the mix, but it's too late. The Roman cavalry have been dispatched, and the legions helplessly watch the riders of Pontus ride into the distance here. Legions are powerless to do anything here. They are tired, exhausted from chasing these horses down. And now, to the backs, they send a rear guard of only two, to be peppered away by arrows here, and facing a large army here. The infantry first engagement's coming up, and at the back here, TakisSakkis is still alive here, commanding his troops to form up and withstand an attack. And the back here, these noble horse, tired but also confident from defeating the Roman cavalry that come from behind, awaiting the right moment to pounce. These Roman legions here, not as confident as before. They put up their shields in desperation to block all the arrows here, as they do have their own archers of their own still, but it's only a matter of time till the engagement happens. Outnumbered now they are. Can they hold for Rome? As the first cavalry charge here comes out, another sneaky, crafty maneuver just to try and get General TakisSakkis off guard as he tries to survey the battlefield. Arrow after arrow, this cannot last forever, as General TakisSakkis calls for one one last push. This is for his honor, as he may go back stripped of his title. But perhaps not, as he has won many victories, and this may be his first loss in the Eastern realm. He may be back. As the Romans charge in, the Pontic swordsmen go into shield formation, closing in their ranks, putting their shields up, protecting themselves from their blows from the swords. Romans unable, or finding it very hard to penetrate between the shields of the men, as the numbers of the Pontic army shows, as they infantry and cavalry alike move to the flanks of the Roman army. All the legions engage, only a few not come to engage the flanks, but none can stop the charge behind some of the legion's flanks, as they run into them, spear impaling Roman soldiers in their backs. But they still stay in the fray, high in morale, high from the experience and knowledge from their conquests in the Hellenic lands. They won't flee as of yet, as fleeing may also be futile, as they do not have any horses. As TakisSakkis nobly tries to also flank as well, but really outnumbered. They get peppered away by archers, even in the flanks here. Pilums here of the thorax. Spearmen. As flanks from everywhere. The Romans fight on. The first Roman legion has routed though, and been chased down by the enemy noble horse. But they stay strong. Considering the odds, they fight on. Very valiantly and very courageously for Rome. And they're showing why they were the conquerors. But not anymore. They flee with the sheer weight. Legion after legion. Run away. Only a few remain in the front here, just waiting to be flanked very shortly here. As archer after archer pep away from the side. It's only a matter of time. A few legions left. They run away as the Pontic army has saved their lands for now until another legion comes. As there are definitely more Romans seeking wealth and plunder. As they flee, and it's a victory for the Pontic army here. Let's see. Anyway, good game, guys. Thought I'd have a bit of fun. Bit bored of the usual way of casting. That was me against TakisSakkis in a different way of casting. Good game. Yeah, I'll do it more if you like it, but yeah, if you don't, I won't. Having fun.